Hi guys, I meant it. Half of you look like you're falling asleep, half of you look like you are about to, so please pick up your notebooks because we don't have much time. Sergey makes sure that I'm on time here. So pick up your notebooks, pens, 2 seconds of engaging your brain in a different way, which might make you feel a bit awkward, but that's okay. Find a friend and in 2 minutes find out what is their hidden talent. The weirder, the better. And whilst these 2 minutes happen, please as well draw each other's hidden talents. Stickmen are fine, no judgment, and basically go for it. Please don't feel awkward or anything, because none of us really can draw anything proper in 2 minutes. So find a friend, figure it out. You sit next to some humans, say hi, yeah, and draw their hidden talent. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. That is the best tool you can use for any workshop, by the way. It's friendly, it makes you look. So just so you know. So guys, before I move on, can I just hear literally one quick hidden talent from someone? Please, engage. There we go. Amazing. You guys need to talk to that person after. One more? One more? Because you're good at it. Oh, there you go. Okay. And after, when you have another break, just talk to each other, look at your hidden talents. Otherwise, we would do more, but there's no time for it. Right. So, can I get my slides back? Thank you. Right, guys. So, with this tiny little thing, literally, I know it's nothing, but after lunch, again, I just wanted to engage you a bit and make you talk about stuff and, you know, get back on it. So, right. Can anyone guess what the hell did I draw here before my meeting yesterday? Any shouts, please? Any thoughts? Bank. Okay. What else?
Somebody pointing at the roof.
Okay. More?
New startup.
New startup. Okay. Anything else? Go for it. Yeah. Business plan. Shout more so we can hear. Pub quiz. Okay, that's an interesting meeting. Any more? Blockchain. Interesting. There you go. Okay. Okay. Any more? Investment. Yeah.
Kind of like a how-to guide.
Okay. Don't know. You tell me.
Buying a house.
Buying a house. Okay. Right. So we can shout like that forever, right? But anyways, I guess I just wanted to show you, don't know if any of you have the same type of brain, but that's how my brain operates since I was a kid. That's how I went through school. That's why I'm here. That's why I can speak English to you. Obviously not English. But basically, I was always drawing little things. That's how I remember stuff. That's how I communicate things. That's how my brain connects A to B. I'm not sure if any of you, if you're ever on a phone call or something, do you ever doodle random stuff? Then you're like, wow, that's a dragon. Do you ever do that, or is it just me? Okay, cool. So maybe sometimes you do that. Maybe sometimes you engage your brain like that. But basically, just want to show you the kind of higher level of that sort of intensity. So that was just a meeting with a bank. And yes, we were talking about finance, money, and all that. I can't tell you more because otherwise I'll be in trouble. But just so you can see what I was supposed to say and how to present, it totally makes sense to me when I was studying. All the kids had like written stuff in their pockets, and I was just like, you know, this war was here with this horse on this hill, and the lady would pass me and be like, oh, that's such a pretty notebook. And I'm like, thank you. So that's basically how my brain works. And I'm not going to say anything new. We are all visual creatures, whether you want it or not. Most of us in this room are. Sharing stories through pictures is what we know, respond to best since the beginning of humankind. And that's been said by me and many other people before. So I'm actually not using anything new because these people kind of are the proof of how we used to communicate back in the days before all the computers, all the words, everything came around. What did we do? We drew stuff literally on the walls in the caves, expressing our journey, expressing how our family looks like, what happened, telling stories. So I'm literally inspired by these humans who were thousands of years before me, and I'm just kind of copying what they did in a more modern way. And then we all drew as kids, right? And suddenly when we become adults, if some of you have kids, maybe you do draw sometimes, but otherwise, if you're not naturally interested in drawing, you will just stop doing it because you're an adult, you're busy, and who has time for that stuff, right? Like, it's awkward. Also at work, who does it? If you actually start to try do something, then people are like, why did you just draw? We need to write. So as kids, we do that naturally. If you have nephews, kids, or something like that, you can just see how they create random lions and things, and they don't even think about it twice. As adults, we all get a bit self-conscious and all that kind of stuff. What will friends think about me? What will colleagues say? All that kind of situation happens. So, going a bit into the market of visuals, if I may, we all can see, and I'm sure all of you are, or most of you on Instagram, it's all about the visuals. Instagram is going up every year in terms of users. Visuals, visuals, visuals. People say less, people want to see stuff. Same with Pinterest. When it first started, I thought that it was mostly for like how to make your braids and weddings. I don't know if you thought the same. But I was just like, I'm not getting married, so who cares? But actually, when we started working with them, I realized I can cook any meal, I can order flights, I can buy clothes, and most of our clients now, actually, before we start any brand work or something like that, they're like, yeah, go on my Pinterest mood board, I created some ideas, put them together, please have a look. I'm like, okay, if they're using Pinterest, we better start using as well. And I always like to put in a little kind of from the day emojis in my from my phone. I screenshotted, and not just to show you how my life is full of anxiety, going from laughs to crying every day, but it's just to show you how people communicate again, and it's all of us. So who talks to their friends instead of let's meet at 8 in this pub? Who says like, yes, of course, I'll see you there, I'll just take this tube and I'll see you there at 8, or I'll be late. We just send a thumbs up or a smiley face, or a girl dancing if we're feeling like it or something, no? I'm sure you all have your favorite emojis. That was mine from today. I'm not sure why there's so much fruit, but let's just go with it. All I'm trying to say here is we all communicate differently. Even when we have clients that we talk to for a long time, we actually use emojis these days in our emails, and it seems like it's really working well. And it's more friendly, because let's be honest, if you can say something in a shorter way, it helps. Visuals are symbols we respond to and connect with naturally, and I just want to give another observation, because I'm a very observant person. I like to be very curious, and if I sit in a cafe, I just stare at people until they think it's creepy. So for example, this is not just to show you how, internet is full of random pictures, but all I'm trying to express here is we all respond visually, not only through pictures. If we're going to a gig and we're really into that person, will dress up as Beyonce or God knows who, or Justin Timberlake or whoever you want. If you're going to a festival, I guess if you wear a suit, that might be cool and out there, but usually people just find some random ragged clothes and they go and spend 3 days not showering. And then if you go to a game, I don't know where this game happened and what these people are about, but I really like that picture. Again, people like to connect in terms of how they visually even look like, because even, for example, if you're abroad, how many of you, if you saw even someone walking with a t-shirt, let's say with your flag or something, you'd be like, hey man, you from there as well? Like, yeah, it's easier to start a conversation. Suddenly something connects us that is more than just the environment. And this I will share, although I shouldn't, but I like to share personal life sometimes. It's my house parties. So I like to make people feel awkward and do a lot of dress-up parties. And it's not because I'm trying to show you how my social life is interesting, but because the moment they come into the room, suddenly the people that don't even know each other, easier to say hi, my name is, oh, have a fun outfit or something. Again, the visual part of their experience makes it all much easier, and we're breaking some ice. Again, what I did with you with Doodly Doo, it wasn't even about you drawing. I just wanted you for a second to talk to each other. Little trick. So that's what we did at the beginning. I'm very curious to see your examples after. So I just really wanted to come here from a bit different perspective, because again, we are a creative agency, so we work with a lot of companies that you guys work in or would like to work with. And not to brag, but these kinds of people call us to work on explaining things, problem solving, how can we pitch this idea to a client, how can we engage these users, how can we engage this team, no one's really excited for this new plan, how can we sell this idea, how can we create some memorable content, how can we boost this event. So these are the kind of problems that they come to us with. And I guess where I can connect with you guys here on the UX level is that often we're asked in real time to join the kind of conceptual meetings, draw things out as we speak, observe what works, what doesn't. Sometimes we are asked to, even kind of design the mock-ups for website or mock-ups for how the new app will behave or something. But usually, basically, our job is to help to problem solve somewhere where there's a pain or people are stuck, whether that's internal or external. So I'll just give you a few practical examples. Some of them will be completely not useful for you, but maybe one or two will spark an idea. How could you differently do something at work or start doing with your team in terms of expressing ideas through visuals? So something that we do kind of a lot throughout every year is we go to conferences. Let's say there's speakers, we draw what they speak about, and I always say, forget that it's pretty pictures. Like, no one should pay for just pretty pictures. But what the pictures do is when they go on Twitter, when people start tagging people like Microsoft that we work with or something, suddenly their event is trending. Suddenly the speakers are more visible, and suddenly all these pictures are boosting in terms of the first ones that are being clicked on, that are being liked, retweeted, and all that good stuff. So again, it's not even about the picture, it's just about being much more visible. And just to show you, like even from last year's event, one thing they just love to even put it as a content, but also these visuals every time were the most ones that were basically seen. So again, a tool that really, really helps in terms of engaging their audience. We go in terms of meetings internally, guys like YouTube or something, and basically we just create visual output of what their event is, what the people kind of wanted to capture. We work with the government as well. You would think that is the last place where someone would call you to create some pictures, right? Pictures, funny, why do I need it? But actually they want to also capture these moments and conversations. So I guess for you it would be really useful to think, how can I make this pitch or this moment or this ideation moment in our conversation with the client or internally more memorable. Right, and then excite your team about the new pitch or strategy. I guess most of you or some of you will work in that space where you need to present a new idea. Doesn't even have to be big. But again, every time we engage the team or the client to actually do something themselves, it just makes them feel more engaged because they've done it. So we kind of set up the templates to do it. We often let them to draw a bit. Every time we do any sort of workshop or something like that, we always say, stickmen are fine. I always say that because if you don't draw every day, you'll be like, what the hell? I just don't do that. Like, why is she even talking to me right now? But the moment that you engage, whether that's your client, stakeholder, or someone, into creating more visual stuff, that's when they kind of get engaged. And I'm just giving you some examples of how we can create kind of processes and ideas through pictures, videos, and things like that. And this is a good one. If you ever have any client that you need to sell an idea or something like that to, there's some companies that just like to do it big way. So they'll ask us to come and paint on a physical wall, which is very sad because next day they wanted to have it painted over, and I feel very sad about it because it was a lot of work. But basically they just run people through a process. So again, I'm not saying you need to do that tomorrow on your wall, but if you can add even the smallest pieces of visuals into your process, it will make people understand it much easier. Again, because of what I just said before, we all respond to visuals, even the simplest things. Right, then we work a lot internally with people in terms of culture, and there's a lot of talking about culture, I'm sure you're aware, how can I engage people, how can I do this and that, so we actually like to walk the talk. For example, this 20-meter wall in the most kind of dull, let's say, corridor in an office. I'm sure some of you can find these corridors or rooms. This was a process that we went through actually for a month or so. We talked to every single person in the company, what's their favorite experience from each year, memory or something at the company. and we created like 11 years worth of stories. Why does it matter? It's not just pretty and, to look there and be there and all that stuff. It actually makes people come and look at it. When they have guests, they ask them to have a look and talk them through it, and they just feel more proud, engaged, and part of the company. So again, seems like nothing, but does connect the dots in terms of how people care about the space they're in. Another little example, we came to Deloitte, put this huge map for a month, and basically people were asked to anonymously come up to the wall and express their ideas about the vision next steps. So instead of having like the bosses just discussing it and then all the people need to react to it and live by it, we actually decided that everyone should have a say. There was no cameras in that corridor, so that was good, because people would still feel a bit like the place is bad and be filmed. They could feel a bit worried, but actually it worked really well. Again, I haven't used here anything fancy. As you can see, it's boxes, some faces in few colors, which I'm sure many of you have skills enough like that to do, pieces like that, for example, for your company. Then we like to tell stories and entertain on social media. So I'm not sure how active your companies are or how you want to be, but just a few examples of how even the serious companies, let's say, can have fun with visual content. Again, that just makes more people sign up, more people click, more people look at their latest update. So this was for Citymapper before they become, let's say, really big, and I'm sure all of you have Citymapper in your phones. If you don't, then well done. I'm lost if I don't have it. And this is how we visualize their top tips for kind of how to get around the town and how to do things and new updates in the phone and things like that. And it's way, way before you can maybe even remember, but actually, again, it just makes the clicking through much, much quicker. And just a few examples from social kind of media experience. Again, apps like Plum, for example, we just like to have fun a bit and make a bit of fun about financing and like saving money and all that. So check them out. Right, so getting everyone on the same page, few roadmaps and things like that. Don't know if you're familiar with that. How do you go through a process from A to B? This was done ages ago, but I always like to show it because it's old but works. This was actually coming back to one of the talks. 10 pages of text. No one really cared about the pages of text. We put literally few pictures of what's going to happen throughout the process. Director came, loved it, sold the idea. Again, nothing fancy. So just showing you some of the stuff, roadmaps, vision, all that kind of things. People really care when it's personal. So we're often asked, again, in terms of culture and everything, to draw people, to highlight who they are. This is obviously anyone from Denmark here? I don't know. Someone from Denmark celebrating their birthday. We work a lot with YouTube. It's not just random girls being drawn. We work a lot with like, bloggers and people like that, and we are asked to visualize their life and what they do. And again, when they share it with them, it just makes the social media and the content boost so much more. We like to play in terms of non-boring photography and things like that. So anytime that we can add a bit of visual story to even something as simple as team photography, we do that because we, for example, ask what people are passionate about, what they like, and just have a bit of a play with that. So have a think. And one of the last ones, trainings, we just like to do it fun way. So Doodly Doo was just a bit of a taster, but basically every time I'm asked to wake someone up or draw a bit or do something like that, that's how we start any sort of serious workshop or training, because I feel like if you guys go to a full day of training, you should enjoy it rather than just be like, when is 5 p.m.? So again, a lot of visual strategies in terms of how you can run a training. And then it's one of my favorites, humor really helps. So we even get called about things like, we haven't been paid for 2 months, and the guy is really annoying, that our client, like, can you guys help us? So we literally would draw like a snail, that was the client, with like a, invoice and like writing, in terms of like, please can you pay us? And then, I'm not kidding you, day after, the client replied with like, oh, we're so sorry, our finance team changed, we didn't know. Of course, we're going to pay, we're so sorry, we're going to pay even, 10% more or whatever. Again, it seems like something so trivial, right? Like, again, sometimes you would be almost scared to send things like that to serious clients. Yet, we all respond to simple things. This we just done recently, very random, but basically our client bought this huge poster and asked us to draw different heads on these heads, and then he gave it to their client, and apparently, you know, it was like the sealing deal for 5 more years of their collaboration. Little things like that, but personal means everything, trust me. And then having fun, so like from personal kind of view, just to show you how pictures can really catch someone's attention, which I like to play online quite a bit. So years ago, this guy put online, draw me and you can win for a lifetime eating burgers. So I drew him, and now we're friends, and every time I'm at his place, I eat free burgers. I mean, it's like so random, right? But again, it doesn't matter. The point here is that the visual really, really engages someone somewhere in the space, in the right time and place. Again, when I feel like it, I'm friends with some of the YouTubers, if I may say so. I'll just post something and then we get like 20 calls to do more work like that because people who observe them suddenly see something that we are asked about. Random little thing, right? Then, because I was really impressed with Harry getting married, I just drew him one day because my guys in the team said, like, Natalia, let's just draw something really quickly. And then we were trending for hashtag royal couple for a few days, and Kensington Royal got in touch in terms of printing it for them. Random stuff. And then this one, last one, don't judge me. Who remembers Facebook from the past before it was all cool and amazing? Another thing that I've done personally, Khloe Kardashian, don't judge me, I'm a smart person, said, oh, I'm looking for a new cover page thing, whatever. So I was like, I remember at 11 p.m. before going to bed, whatever, I'll draw a random human. Next day, my inbox, a bit crazy. My friend's like, Natalia, did you see? I'm like, what? Well, she put it on her page. Anyways, the point is, got new clients through that. Very cheeky, but yeah. I know I gave you a lot of examples, and I know I'm kind of in a space where some things will totally fit for you, some things will be like, no, that's not my space. But if you just test one thing in your own space of work that I just shared, and try it out, see if it's a tiny email and a visual, please do, and see if that works out for you. So that's kind of me. Thank you.